You may have heard people say all guys watch porn, or that there's no harm. As it turns out, about 200,000 Americans are classified as porn addicts. But don't be deceived by this number, because these are probably the amount of people that have sought help and went out to get help, meaning that there are probably many more people who are actually addicted and can't get over it. And that was just for the United States. The research states that about 2/3 of the viewers are men and 1/3 are women. Now that we understand the demographic a bit better, what does the research say about the effects of it? We can start by asking, is it a one-time thing? Is it just something that happens once a week or once in a while that you can leave whenever you feel like it? Or is it an escalating behavior? Someone can say that, well, I don't watch anything problematic. One thing we have to understand is that scientifically, when we do certain activities, our brain releases dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter that's responsible for pleasure. If we see something beautiful or we eat a really great meal, then our brain wants more. Well, things like drug use and porn use take our dopamine production to really high levels. When that happens, our dopamine receptors start to plug their ears. Think of it like a referee who cares less and less about complaining players throughout the course of a game. So in order to get the same thrill, it's not as simple as just wanting more. For example, with cigarettes, you just smoke more and more. But with porn, you don't want the same thing again and again, you want something different. In a 2016 study, researchers found that 46.9% of participants reported that they began to watch types of porn that they initially didn't find interesting or actually found disgusting. Well, someone might say, well, sure, okay, their tastes change, but how bad can that be? Well, actually, it can get really aggressive and demeaning. There are many categories in which women are getting verbally and physically abused, and they look like they either don't care or that they're enjoying it. Think of it like this. They start out watching porn, and then they convince themselves that, I would never watch something as disgusting as cheating or something about incest or underage porn. But then they can't stick to that promise. Obviously, this isn't true for everyone, but this does tend to happen. So porn uses our dopamine reward pathway, and it makes us crave the high that we got the first time that we watched it. The surge of chemicals in the brain that are released create new pathways which lead to the same behavior. Going back, this reinforces the behavior and wires it deeper into our brains. If you're still not convinced, then scientists at Cambridge University looked at brain scans of porn addicts, and they found that these scans look very similar to brain scans of drug addicts. According to research linked below, when men and women were exposed to porn, they were less likely to be satisfied with their partner's physical appearance, their affection, and performance. Porn also makes viewers see themselves as less attractive. And this one's really easy to explain because porn is filmed in studios with many cuts and edits over the course of many days, Photoshop, airbrushing, and more. Then, of course, there are the actors, and of course actors, because this isn't actually real intimacy, who are usually athletic looking or have plastic surgery to look more desirable. Many people have false impressions about what their partner should look like, and it's contributing to unrealistic body standards and proportions for women. It also affects personal and romantic relationships. Research has found that marriages in which one person has a porn addiction experience less intimacy and sensitivity, as well as more anxiety, secrecy, isolation, and dysfunction in the relationship. In one survey, 62% of divorce attorneys mentioned that obsession with porn was one of the significant reasons behind that divorce. In a poll conducted by MSNBC, 1 in 5 males confessed that porn was taking away from time that they would spend with their partner and children. Since porn is about instant gratification, this makes a lot of sense. It's all about getting and satisfying oneself, but while a real relationship is about sacrificing oneself and giving oneself. This selfishness makes intimacy feel rushed and forced, because there's no foreplay. And fun fact, the least popular day for Americans to watch porn is on Thanksgiving. That's interesting because gratitude and selfishness don't go together. There are many stories online about how one partner's obsession with porn damaged or even ruined their relationship. You can check the description box below for some of these examples. It twists views about what intimacy should really look like. Researchers have repeatedly found that Those who watch a significant amount of porn are more likely to engage in sexual activities sooner, more likely to contract STDs, and to engage in riskier sexual behavior. In a study of popular porn videos, the number of partners ranged from 1 to 19, with the average being 3. Graphic, I know. The acts in some popular porn videos are also degrading and violent. In a study of porn videos, 9 out of 10 scenes showed a woman being hit, beaten, or harmed, and they seemed not to mind, or they seemed happy about it. It's also linked to the human trafficking sort of industry, and it's also connected to prostitution. Men who look at porn have been shown to be more likely to go to prostitutes, and they're usually looking for a chance to act out what they've seen in these videos. It's also linked to the global issue of human trafficking. Porn is often made of human trafficking victims, and it's posted online. The victims are drugged, beaten, and forced into doing porn. Well, one might say, I don't watch people who were part of the human trafficking industry. Chances are you don't actually know that. Research has shown that popular porn websites don't actually properly moderate where they get the content from. In other words, they're basically willing to host videos of human trafficking, abuse, and violence. In other words, these sites are willing to host and profit from videos of human trafficking, abuse, and other non-consensual acts. And it also may be linked to male erectile dysfunction as well as premature ejaculation due to the performance anxiety and the dopamine overload. Because in reality, real women don't match up to the photoshopped or plastic surgery product actresses in porn videos. So when men compare their partners to these actresses, they can't get aroused. It's also linked to problems like anxiety and depression. I'm not saying that it causes anxiety and depression. All I'm saying is that the research has shown a correlation between porn use, anxiety, depression, and stress. Recovering porn users continue to show a reduction in social anxiety as one of the main improvements after they quit porn. Finally, Professor Jennings, Bryant, and Dolf Zillman have been studying porn for over 30 years and have concluded that when it comes to porn, and I quote, no rigorous research demonstrations of positive effects can be reported. Basically, in the 30 years that they've been researching pornography and its effects, they couldn't find any significant benefits. You may know plenty of people who watch porn and think that it's okay. Well, just because something is widespread or considered okay doesn't mean that it's a good thing. The great irony of pornography is that in the pursuit of pleasure, you chase it for far longer than you wanted to, and you often lose your capacity to be intimate with an actual human being. So you're better off not getting excited by a few pixels on a screen and bonding with a real human being. And that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to like and share with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.